What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got a pretty interesting duel for you guys to check out. This is Revendreads versus Magibullets, and Magibullets are looking like they are going to be quite the unstoppable force, but we'll have to see about that. Revendreads is actually a deck that I think it's a lot better than I initially thought. Now, I will say I've watched this duel a couple of times, including a couple of minutes ago. This Magibullet player is seriously unfamiliar with the deck. This is not a very good Magibullet player, and I think that he's very unfamiliar with how Revendreads kind of operate. But one of the things that I like about Revendreads is if you can get Slayer on the field and you can get Omega out, everything is obviously zombie based. There is so much synergy with the ritual spell and the fact that you can use it from the graveyard, banish it to protect Slayer, and then kind of put it back in the graveyard with the effect of Omega. And I don't know, everything just kind of compiles and it works all together really nicely. So let's go ahead and open this. Obviously, this is not a link format duel or Vrain's era duel, but I will show you guys at one point to where this field could have been perfectly made if this was a current duel played under link format, because he could have just made Mrs. Radiant and everything would have worked as normal. So you see he opens up with 2 copies of Brilliant Fusion. He's going to use that with Serapher Knight, and he's going to get that Trick Clown on the field. Gozuki and Mizuki both are going to come down. I believe he's going to throw a Shiranui Sage in the graveyard. And here's where I say that even though he's going to like summon Omegas, or he's going to summon, I believe, Tornado Dragon, which obviously wouldn't be legal anymore, he would simply be able, if he was playing right now IRL, he'd simply be able to give up his Serapher Knight and the Mizuki. He'd be able to go for Mrs. Radiant, and he would then have extra deck slots open, or he'd be able to summon extra deck monsters, 2 of them to be exact. And if he went for Omega, which can banish itself, then he could go even more. So even though you see this play, it doesn't perfectly translate right now, by making Mrs. Radiant, it would work. So instead of going for Tornado Dragon, he would just go for Mrs. Radiant, but he goes for Tornado Dragon. He's going to get his Sage. He's going to get a copy of Unizombie. At that point, you can just start pumping out Omegas. He's going to summon 2 in this turn, and he's going to summon Slayer. And man, that is actually a pretty powerful opening, especially considering he gets his Mizuki and his Gozuki back. And if he happens to need to use the Origin, which this is a mistake here. This guy activates, Death Parado, and he tries to kill the Slayer, but he should have went after one of the Omegas, because if you try and kill the Slayer, obviously your opponent is just going to activate Origin, the ritual spell, as I said earlier, from the graveyard. So Slayer doesn't actually die, and then he makes another misplay where he attacks the Tornado Dragon. Tornado chains its ability to blow up the Brilliant Fusion, and then it causes a replay because the Trick Clown is summoned during the battle phase, and instead of killing the Tornado Dragon, he's going to attack he attacks the Slayer, which obviously in the damage step it uses its ability and gets stronger. So this is why I say that this Magibullet player didn't really know what he was doing, in my opinion. I was just kind of questioning some of his plays. Pot of Duality is going to get banished, and with those double Omegas on the field, it's like he's never playing with a full deck. He's finally going to be able to get rid of Slayer. The problem is when you get that ritual spell back from Slayer, he's going to be able to like summon it so easily. This deck, considering he keeps his Omegas on the field and he's constantly juggling the Trick Clown and he's constantly using these Mizukis, you see that he just summons Slayer again like it's nothing. And I believe that he could have potentially gamed them here. He's just fearing the Mirror Force, which honestly, I probably would have yellowed it. Maybe I would have kept one of the copies of Omega in defense mode, but you see he's going to leave his opponent with 600, which means he could have killed him, because I mean, these were both bluffs. Ties of the Brethren and the Endorphin, like neither one of these cards were actually usable. Obviously Ties of the Brethren is completely dead because he doesn't have enough life points. The Omega is going to miss its mark here, but once again he goes for Slayer. I guess he didn't understand the first time why Slayer didn't die. He didn't read the ritual spell in the graveyard, the fact that it does protect Slayer. But I don't know, this deck is actually a lot better than I originally thought. I mean, it can go into Mrs. Radiant fairly easily because so many of the zombies are Earth. That opens up your field. You can pretty much just spit out Omegas because you're running a whole bunch of the zombie cards. And then, as I said before, Omega has natural synergy with the Revendreads because the ritual spell protects your Revendread Slayer, makes it so it can't be destroyed by that battle or that card effect. And then if your Omega's on the field, you just put it back in the graveyard. And it's kind of like you have infinite resources to just kind of cycle and protect your Revendread Slayer. And it actually can do a little bit of work. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. this. Again, I just wanted to point out this Magic Bullet player obviously is not the perfect demonstration of the Magic Bullet potential. I really think that this is somebody who was brand new to the archetype, probably didn't understand that archetype or even Revendreds in general, but still a nice little demonstration of a duel. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already.